What's going on, guys? It's me, the Rogue Man, and I am molding, literally molding. This is a rant video. I am very much, I'm mad. All right, I'm tired and frustrated. Just like the title of the video says, why is my deck unplayable? Or what? Either the title will say that or the thumbnail will say that. But why is my deck unplayable? Why am I not having any fun with the game? My problem with the game currently as it is, what I'm having issues with. And I'm hoping that most of you guys here can also relate, right? Because you guys come to me to talk about rogue decks, so I'd assume that you guys are rogue players and can, empathize with what I'm having to say here now. We're going to just react to some new cards, right? Some new leaks just dropped that were from the Master Duel settings, Master Duel data miners, whatever. We're going to be looking at those cards because I was told that ghoti was indirectly supported in those cards. I'm going to read them, give you my thoughts and opinions, read the mitsurugi cards, give my thoughts and opinions, and then give you a talking point that I want to talk about and hope you guys will understand, and also give your thoughts and opinions. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. But let's get into it, right? So the leaks here, we have 3 cards that are clearly meant to support ghoti indirectly. Talking point number 1. Why does it have to be indirect support? The TCG created this archetype, which is ghoti. Is it so terrible for the TCG to directly support the own archetype that they themselves have created? No, they're just stupid and it's annoying. Alright, let's begin here. We have Apsis School, which is a level 4 water monster with an effect 300 attack, 300 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 6 or lower fish monster from your hand, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is banished, you can special summon this card from the banish, whatever, in defense position. Both effects at once per turn. Am I taking crazy pills? Like, am I genuinely the person who is wrong here? This card doesn't even synergize with itself. It's special summons, which, to be honest, Egg Sheep should have done it in the first place, right? This is what Egg Sheep should have been. But this card only works on normal summon and has a mechanics of special summon, so you can't even get its own effect. How can a card not synergize with itself, Konami? How? Sorry, Rorschach. My cat's right here, actually. I think he's trying to like sleep on my keyboard and I'm ranting. So from number 1, it's only a normal summon for whatever reason. And number 2, big Bumbleclot 2025, we have a card on a normal summon can only special summon from the hand. Ice Ryziel is right there. Ice Ryziel is right there. Literally right there, so that can special summon from the deck and special summon itself by doing something. You're telling me that this card in ghoti couldn't special summon a fish monster level 4 or lower prob deck? It would have broken the deck. This is one of my issues I have with the TCG or Konami in general. They can't really look at a deck's floor and be like, okay, ghoti cards aren't really that good, so we can take more leisures and give them better cards to try to speed them up and try to help them out. Why can't you guys? Why? It's like you guys just design these cards and just put them into the world with no thought behind of it. Next card, Toxic Boxfish, which I was told is the only good card here. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target 1 fish monster in your 1 card in your graveyard and banish it. Okay. And if this card is banished, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and negates the effect. So it's a permanent, it's a negate, right? Yeah, it's a negate of any face-up cards, even spell and traps. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it doesn't push game state. All it really does is hands that used to have Keef and a tuner can now make Arion Post, but that's again on the opponent's turn, which is not good. Just making Arion Post pass, well, making Arion Post on opponent's turn to do what 1 deep beyond is not good, Konami. And that's all the deck does, and it's not good. It's not enough for the current gaming environment. Decent card isn't what it needs. Moving on. I'm just getting so frustrated right now reading these cards. Fish and Bids. At the start of the main phase, strike 1. Banish 1 card from your hand. Strike 2. Your opponent can banish 2 cards from their hand If they do not apply this effect, strike 3. Take 2 fish monsters from your deck and either banish them or send them both to your graveyard. Strike 4. I know there's only 3 strikes in baseball, but man, this card is a walking red flag. And then you're fish locked for the rest of the turn. Oh my god. This shit is so ass, bro. How can you design a card this bad? It feels like a weaponized incompetence, meaning that they went out of their way to make this card this bad. It forces you to do it in the main phase, at the start of the main phase. So it's basically like extravagance. You have to do it. Sorry, Rorschach. You have to do it, right? And if you do anything else, you can't activate the card. Why? Your opponent has the option to negate it by banishing 2 cards from their hand. And we are going into a format where Malice is the best deck. You cannot be this stupid by accident. You have to be this stupid on purpose. And you're doing it on purpose to insult ghoti players. You can't tell me otherwise. Can't tell me otherwise. And then they also made it, for some reason, made it ashable because you can send to the graveyard. So it's ashable. I want to show you guys something. So it fish locks, right? I want you guys to know that there is no main deck threats of fish in the game. None. Let me just go right here. Monster. Fish. Effect. All of these cards are not main deck bosses. They're either facilitators for their deck or extremely old cards that do nothing. None of these cards really do anything on their own. Now let's look at ritual summons. There's only one fish ritual monster in the game, I believe, and that's the fortress guy, right? Which is a vanilla monster. Fusions, they're all vanillas. Every fish fusion monster is a vanilla monster, except for this guy. Well, that's, you know, that's for punk. Synchros, ghotis and whites, and this terrible card, and this card that we cannot make. Xyz, there's only 3 cards, and they're all bad. Link, I think there's only 1 or 2, maybe 2. 1, it's a Beastkeeper. I think there's only 1 Pendulum Fish. What do you mean you lock me into fish monsters? And there is no fish monsters in the game to play, Konami. How do you do that? How do you sit in a room of people and say, yes, this is a good idea? There's no fish monsters outside of the ghotis. And the ghotis are cool in terms of artwork, but they're not nothing to go, they're just cool. You're telling me that it would have broken the deck if you had simply made it a water lock? In any case, it needs you to have, to get full value out of this card, you need to have 1 fish in hand already to banish 4 Psyches. And you don't want to banish any other cards like hand traps and stuff like that, so you technically need 2 cards in hand to banish. So it's a 3 card. Yugioh organization said these could be mistranslation. Maybe when it comes out, Apsi School could summon from deck. Maybe Apsi School could special summon, work on special summon. Who knows? Weaponized incompetence in Yu-Gi-Oh is a real problem, genuine problem. Not everybody in the game, Konami, wants to play the same meta decks but want to be competitive. Because you're going to say, why not just play casual Yu-Gi-Oh? No. Every hobby I partake in like this, card games, video games, I play them competitively. Either I'm grinding out ranked. When I used to play Mortal Kombat and Injustice, which I can't believe I can't find my medals, it was a long time ago though, I went out to play competitively because I like competing at the highest level possible. That's what I find fun in games like these. Give me the option to play a deck that I like and compete. Because rogue does not mean unplayable. Rogue means your deck is not the best deck in the room because of maybe matchups, because of maybe how it's fundamentally designed, but at the end of the day, it is playable and a good enough pilot can perform well with said deck. Case in point, Plunder Patrol. I've seen success with Plunder Patrol. A lot of people have won with the deck, have top UICs with the deck because it's playable and it's good. It's not playable right now, specifically because of Malice, because of Rising. Sure, every deck has their format. It doesn't matter what format it is right now and will ever be. Ghoti, Generator, Reactor, such and such, Magic Mutant, Magic. Those decks are unplayable because they're fundamentally unplayable. They don't have anything going for them. Reactor can slightly get a pass because it's so versatile and can play almost any engine. Does need a way to facilitate the field spell. For example, Sunlight Sowing, when you activate it, you can set the field spell, and it needs a good XYZ target for the field spell. Konami knows what the issue is with these decks and actively chooses not to fix them. The argument I often see come up is, if you fix every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, then you make every deck you make every format, have a diverse format, but siding is hard. Okay. And if the format's diverse, all you can do is side your deck, side cards that are more general, not targeted to specific decks. That's one. Two, if you were to make every deck to some degree playable for their specific fan base, that would not stop people from playing the most available meta decks. If there is 5 decks in the room that you have to choose, what's also good right now, Mermail and Generator, right? If you were to make Generator playable with Runics, right, you give them the card, like for example, they need a card that can summon out 2 Ruders from deck by targeting a runic monster on the field. So like Hugin, target Hugin, summon Lopter and Vala from deck, whatever. If you give the deck 3 great cards and made them playable, that would not stop people from playing the other 4 very strong decks in the room, because those decks are just inherently better than Generator. That doesn't mean that Generator has to be unplayable, if you understand what I'm saying here. And now what gets me upset, or gets me kinda get my head chip, because as much as I am a reptile player, I told you guys, fish, reptile, insect, those are the main 3 decks I play. They finally fixed reptiles. I'm happy about that, right? Because all seven of these cards for Mitsurugi are great. They make the deck playable pure. They make the deck even better without those, right? I'll be cooking on that shortly. How do you go from making a card like this, which is a 1 card for Mitsurugi, to making a card like this, that is a 3 card for fish, that locks you into fish, a type that has nothing to do? You cannot tell me this is multiple teams of people working on card design, because there's some loss of communication here. Something is happening here that makes no sense to me. And it's not just the TCG doing this, the OCG does it as well. Listen, I understand that not every deck can be meta, but why cannot every deck be playable? And then you allow the players to decide. I'm very frustrated with the game state right now. It has nothing to do with the predatory practices of the TCG. That's something that's been talked about so many times. We all know about that. I haven't played Paper Yu-Gi in a long time because none of the decks I want to play are playable. I tried playing a meta deck. It was no fun for me. Alright, it was no fun. Didn't enjoy it. I didn't resonate with the deck. I don't play deck because it's good, I'll play it because I resonate with its theme. But yeah, let me just give an example here. Sometimes in my free time when I'm not working, I like to just cope. I like to just cope with the fact that my decks won't be good by making custom archetypes or custom supports, whatever. For example, I made this archetype that's based around ritual summoning by banishing fish monsters, right, which complements ghoti, and it's based upon the followers of Dagon, which is a H.P. Lovecraft story, you know, stuff like that. But I want to focus on something here specifically. From custom generator cards, right? I made one that's Runic Bifrost because Runic and Generator are in the same universe. This card is also treated as a generator, so you can search it with the quest, and you can search it with Mardell, right? You can target one. Basically, the first effect is you can recur Runic monsters and Generator monsters from the banished pile or graveyard pile, banish the top 3 of the opponent's deck, and instead of summoning a Runic from the extra deck, you can target one Runic monster you control, summon up to 2 Generator monsters from your deck with the same level or the same type as the targeted monster. So you have to summon either Fairies, which is only Lopter and Vala, or you have to summon level 9s, which is basically the bosses. Right? It's not broken. It's not unfair. It's still a 2 card. You still need another Runic to make it live. Then I have Generator Boss Mechanic, which is also treated as a Runic card, so it can be searched by tip, right? If it's discarded by either Vala or by Yugioh, you can place it in your spell trap face up, right? It protects your field spells. It allows you to search for one Runic. It allows you to switch between each field spell because the deck does hinge on field spells, so it allows you to go between the 2 of them, which makes sense. And also it allows you to special summon one raider from the graveyard, and that great raider doesn't have to tribute to use its effect, and because you have to tribute the tokens to get those effects. I also gave them one more target for Leviathan, which is basically Fenrir. I call him Van Gander, which when he is special summoned by the effect of a generator monster, so Vala, Hela, Leviathan, he can copy the effects of non-generator monsters from the graveyard by banishing them, and he can only gain their tribute effects or unsummon effects. So he cannot copy the effect of Heart to Hand Loop, but he can copy his effect to negate. And I'm just here thinking to myself, would these cards break Generator? No. Would they make Generator playable and give Generator something else to do instead of just hand looping, because that's all the deck can do right now? It's hand loop. Yes. And if I can see this, I know for a fact Konami can. And if they can't, then that's just a bad company right there. Not much more to talk about other than the fact that I really do wish that the game state was more catered to everybody and not just specifically the fan favorite decks or the poster child decks. It's been so long. Ursa Arctic and Drytron got their unifying card. Where is Generator's unifying cards? Why make them in the same universe if you're not gonna give them a unifying card just like I gave to Ursa Arctic and Drytron? But in any case, leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know, guys, what you guys think. Please keep safe. Big ups.